Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. Welcome to the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. We're here at the Watkins Glen International Circuit in the United States. And I'm very pleased to say that I, Andrew Woodhouse, am here with Adam Bath. And Adam, well, as normal, then we take to the track on a Thursday evening, expecting to see some great action. Watkins Glen is one of the most exciting races of the season. And what can we expect going forward here in these 3 rounds?
I'll tell you what we can definitely expect is a lot of slipstreaming. It is probably the quickest circuit we go to all season in terms of straight line speed, and inevitably that leads to a few big crashes along the way, especially on the exit of turn 1, where, unlike in real life now, there isn't too much runoff area. So expect the cars to try their best to funnel into turn 2. Some will try it better than others. Shades of Cesare Rizzo back in whatever year it was there. So yeah, expect some quick cars and some big crashes, I reckon, tonight.
Yeah, there's usually going to be a few, and we're going to see that potentially later on. The drivers will be hoping for not too many crashes, of course, hoping to get through this minefield that is especially the first couple of laps and the S's section. Indeed, Ash Sutton leads the way then in qualifying from Wojciech Svidovic, George Simmons in 3rd, Christian Rose in 4th position, then Stephen Baxter, Pete Harrod, Jamie Rushworth, Ross McFarlane, Stelian Chepelevsky, David Baker rounds out the top 10, and then Chris Wood in 13th is the highest placed AM driver, with Will Daniels and Paul Smith just behind him. Here we go then. 20 minutes around this famous circuit. Who is going to take the honours tonight? The lights are off, the race is on, we're underway. Who's going to win the drag to turn 1? It looks like Wojciech Svidovic has got a better start than Ash Sutton then. Sutton is on the inside. Svidovic trying to work his way around the outside of the 2017 British Touring Car Champion. But this is going to be the telling run up the hill and through the S's. Svidovic is clear, and he already starts on the front foot then. Sutton in 2nd, George Simmons in 3rd, Christian Rose 4th, then Baxter. Then it's Harrod, Rushworth, Chepelevsky, McFarlane and Baker. That's your top 10 as we go past where the DRS would be for the Old Irish Racing World Championship races here. And a side-by-side Svidovic and Sutton into the bus stop chicane, Adam.
No bus stop here, though. They're going to speed way past it and into the carousel.
They have gone past it. Hey!
Slow down penalty for all of them. Round the long carousel we go, and we're going to be...
We'll allow that first one.
Onto the boot set, yeah. Oh, Svidovic.
Oh, problems.
We've been away for 2 weeks, and these drivers have lost none of their... have got no rustiness at all. And Svidovic cutting across Sutton, making sure that the Evolution Racing driver that starts a second on the grid maintains the lead going into the boot section.
You see, back in the Motors TV days, we could have edited that one out, and Svidovic might want this part editing out as well, as he goes a little bit wide. Ash Sutton sneaks up the inside and towards the heel of the boot. It's CQR versus Evolution Racing, door to door, wheel to wheel, into the slow left-hander for the final section. Sutton still round the outside, and he has the all-important advantage for the final corner on the inside.
Yeah, I think we could see plenty of this tonight.
Oh, bit of contact there.
Bravery from Sutton, and this is going to allow Simmons up the inside of his teammate, so Wojciech goes from 1st to 3rd within the space of 1 sector here as we come out of the final corner to complete the opening lap. We can't take our eyes off this lead battle as everybody now comes across the line.
He was trying to get 2nd place back from George Simmons, but realises that he would be better off slotting into line as he's now under pressure from Christian Rose. Everybody in pretty much one big long line going all the way back to, well, pretty much the 30s in positions. We have 34 drivers out there today, all trying to make sure that they are the kings of Watkins Glen. And Ash Sutton, the right royal pain in the arse of Evolution Racing Team at the moment. And, well, it's very strong showing by them and CQR, of course. CQR with 4 cars in the top 7 places, with only the only interloper between out of those 2 teams being V-Racers Stephen Baxter. And you can see him there in the orange car just behind Christian Rose's number 20.
You hear them downshift once. It's very tempting to downshift another one going through the carousel there, but you carry on nonetheless. A few cars running very wide on the exit. Behind Savidovic, that's Christian Rose, and then it's the V-Racer car of Steve Baxter. Biggest mover in the field is all the way down in 20th place. It's Sven Glatzel, 20th overall. Top AM driver at the moment is Chris Wood, the Team Ad driver, up 2 places to 11th in the early going. He's all the way back in the shot there, the Team Ad car. He's the highest Team Ad car in the field, incidentally.
Yeah, new driver to the series, at least to my knowledge. Bradley Burns in 19th place as well. He's just become a victim of Sven Glatzel. I think that's him in the blue car, actually. I think he's just been taken by Michael Blake. At least Blake's trying to go around the outside here. Can he make that one stick? Not sure yet, but he does have Maciej Sakovic, the other Team Man car for company, maybe to try and unsettle Burns in car 15. Goes through the last couple of corners. Sakovic having half a look on the inside. Adam Hedgecock just in behind them for boosted.
At the end of the
Adam Hadfield's been off the track. This is Josh Simmons then, looking at the back of Ash Sutton. And Simmons getting a really good run up the S's. The slipstream is such, Adam, that he's having to lift off in the first part of the S's so he doesn't run into him.
But now we're going to finally see the power of the Kia Optima. We mentioned this at the beginning of the programme about how influential it's going to be. Sutton, that's moving twice, but I don't know nothing. But here we go across the chicane.
The Kia Optima is no slouch in the straight line, and Simmons is no slouch here on the inside of the carousel. He's really putting pressure on Sutton, and they're rubbing panels again.
And into the first part of the boot. Simmons, there's not too much grip out there, but if he can just about stay alongside, which he can't, and he might have had a chance up the inside into the left-hander. The outside line works really, really well here through this right-hander through the middle part of the boot, and Simmons is going to try.
He barely managed to stay ahead of Wojciech Svidovic there, who is does look like he's suffering a tiny bit. Baxter is right with the multiple-time BSRTC champion. Here comes Simmons then. He's looking for the move up the inside. Dives into the heel. And Sutton doesn't yield. Let's see what happens if he can go. No, he's not going to go around there, surely. But he might try for a long cut back. It's going to be too long a cut back. He probably knew it there, Adam, but it was worth a try on the opening laps because there's going to be less dirt and marbles out there to find yourself in.
Yeah, it was worth an attempt, especially because Wojciech Svidovic was right behind him, so he wasn't going to do anything too rash if Simmons got it particularly wrong. And obviously the four-time champion allowing him back into the fold. One thing we haven't mentioned...
We've also seen some drivers hit the curb on the inside and get a really slow run out of the corner. So Simmons may be anticipating a possible mistake by Sutton, but we've seen when Sutton gets into the lead, Adam, in these races, that he, in race ones especially, that he is pretty calm and controlled. But even with a 4/10 of a second lead, he's still going to come under pressure into the carousel.
Yeah, 4/10 of a second is going to be wiped out within the space of a straight here. Look at the Evolution Racing teammates in the background though. They're having to defend pretty harshly by Stephen Baxter, who's attempting to get by. Savidovic up into second.
Oh, they've both gone wide. Baxter gets sideways. Bit of oversteer from... And that was enough to drop behind Jamie Rushworth. So that's another CQR driver. And Rushworth, who... he's shown flashes of what he can do, former champion of course, but needs to be more consistently at the front, I think, Adam, to mount a challenge.
Yeah, season 4 champion. He's proved it in the past, especially in those shorter seasons which we now do have. We'll get into detail about that when we probably come back from one of the breaks after race 1. The BSRTC has been considerably shortened. There is still going to be a showdown, but it's going to be, instead of in November, it's going to be in August. And we're splitting the season into 2 parts, which could get pretty interesting. In reality, we're pretty much at the halfway point of the calendar then, as we're now in June.
Yeah, the reason for that, of course, is the fact that we are anticipating the new Audi RS3 TCR car, which is coming to iRacing. It is confirmed that it's coming to iRacing. Sutton just putting a rear wheel on the grass wasn't the optimum line through that final corner, Adam. He lost a couple of tenths.
Able to rescue it, but it wouldn't have been ideal going through that corner, especially with that tyre barrier coming up on the exit. Massive crash in the NASCAR series, 11 years ago now at that one. This is turn 1 where Juan Pablo Montoya and Kevin Harvick had a bit of a conversation.
Oh, and they nearly had a fight, didn't they? I remember that. That was quite interesting.
Colombian versus an American. Not too sure which state Kevin Harvick's from. Oh, Sutton.
He was still twitching around at the top of the S section. Car looks very, very light for Sutton. He was doing TCR Europe, wasn't he? He either has done or he is doing. At Spa-Francorchamps, I believe.
He's from
He's a guest driver.
From upstate New York. He's off to Darlington on Sunday for the British Touring Car Championship.
Oh! Well, yeah, it's like Croft. It's in the it's in sort of the middle of the country, isn't it? It's not really.
It's not Yorkshire and it's not the northeast, is it? Is that
it's kind of Darlington. It's kind of Middlesbrough. It's kind of North Yorkshire. It's all a bit of a mess. But one thing's for sure is he's very good there, just like your boy Colin Turkington as well, who's going to be. He's going to be one of the men to beat there, as he always is. This is a great battle shaping up for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th between Ross McFarlane, Christian Rose, Pete Harrod and Stelian Chepelevsky.
Yeah, Ross McFarlane no longer the highest V-Racer car after that slide at the carousel. That position has now been inherited by Stephen Baxter. And he's got quite a few cars behind him here. Most of them are CQR and Evolution Racing Team. Cedric, of course, driving for them, but without the Evolution Racing Team livery. And then you've got Baker and McIntyre not too far away from them either. Yeah, Colin Turkington, BMW and Croft. Love triangle made in heaven, really, as they come out.
Especially a new BMW, which looks to be really, really nice. It's a really nice looking car. Don't know how quick it is. I've not really seen many touring cars this season. Up the inside goes Stephen Baxter on Jamie Rushworth. I think he's going to get that one done, Adam, as he comes through turn 1 and then up the hill through 2. He's on the clean part of the track and he clears Jamie Rushworth, but maybe not for long.
Yeah, good move. Yeah, you're right. I don't think we haven't seen the end of this yet as we go onto the back straight over that DRS activation line. Rushworth looking this way and that way. He's going to go to the outside here, going into the carousel. We have seen that work on the cup layouts on the boot section. It's just a little bit more tricky.
You got to drive it in hard though.
Yeah.
Got to really drive it in hard. Yeah, because the corner is a little bit more open, isn't it? So the outside line doesn't really get to keep as much momentum as it does on the cup layout. They're always a bit traction limited on the front tyre limited on the cup layout with the inside line, especially not being able to get all that grip and use it. This is Svidovic, who's been using the grip of his Kia Optima fairly well since the first couple of laps anyway. He's right on the back of Ash Sutton. Quarter of a second is all the gap is. You don't need me to tell you what the gap is. You can see it there with your own eyes. And the Polish driver who resides in Ireland really taking it to Sutton. And Simmons is still there, Adam, as well. He's just half a second behind. Svidovic gets a snap of oversteer going into the penultimate corner.
Yeah, that grass and that gravel on the exit is very very threatening. Of course, in real life, it's not there anymore. Most of this circuit has got tarmac runoff area. I don't know if that's something that Circuit Gilles Villeneuve might think of doing next season after what happened there on Sunday. But
I hope not.
Me too, but I worry about it. Personal best by Simmons, just when we thought that he might be out of a chance of victory with just over half the race gone, he throws himself right back into contention with that lap, a 1:54.28. And quite a lot of the cars running wide on the exit of turn 1 as well. That's something that we will definitely not seen the last of here. As an update on the progress of some of the drivers. Sven Glatzel's gained 11 spots. Mark Woodhouse, an AM driver driving for Team Mad, has gained 8. And look at Svidovic, he's going for the lead.
Can he use the outside line to his advantage? Probably not from there, although he is nudging the back of the CQR car. Maybe just wanting to unsettle Sutton. I'm not sure how much pressure Ash Sutton ever feels in the touring car. It doesn't seem like he ever feels that much pressure, but if he does, he's probably feeling it from Wojciech Svidovic.
You can see how eager Wojciech was to get the lead. Most of the time it's Sutton applying the pressure, but here we're getting to see, as Sutton rise the curb a little bit, they're going through the bit, we're getting to see Wojciech do some attacking here, and with 12 minutes of the 20-minute race gone, there is still plenty of time for him to do it. As we go into the right-hander, Rushworth and McFarlane pretty close as well. You can see just from the intervals, everybody is right on the back of everybody else. So It's going to be a very short field spread when the checker flag comes out at this straight.
I do have to take the time to apologise to the rest of the field because this battle's so good, because the battling at the front of the field in general has been excellent. Look at that battle for fifth down to 12th. I haven't really been able to see a great deal of the action further down the field. Here is some of it, and that is Adam Hadfield versus Chris Wood. I will say, Adam, it's been a really, really cleanly driven race with only a few retirements. How many retirements have we actually had? Looks like 6. That's not awful for Watkins Glen.
Yeah, most of them didn't take the start, in fact.
Really?
Yeah, Westwards, Wright, Atkinson, Williamson, all didn't start. I think Adam McNally got going eventually.
Yeah, he crashed, I think, on the first lap, did Adam McNally, I believe.
Yeah, a couple of laps down, and Bradley Burns.
Oh, this isn't going to go well.
Too wide through the S's. Teammates involved here too.
Smith and Daniels. Oh, is it Brown? Sorry. Might be Brown.
Meanwhile.
Oh, now he's got the overlap on the outside, Savinovic. Doesn't quite get the traction off. He goes for the inside into the chute. Thought he was going for it. But not quite, however.
His teammate in third, Simmons, has got a fantastic view of it all. We've even got his picture there, the Evolution Racing team driver. Oh,
if you're a driver in the series, get your picture in. Definitely look good on the broadcast.
Yeah, it's a bit easier than getting it on the car like the famous Andrew Woodhouse selfie car.
I might have to, if it's around somewhere, I'm sure someone will find me it, but you never know, it might not be the last you ever see of that, but I think Roy Viveke will be hoping it is. Now, he'll have nightmares. I think he said he had nightmares about that after he was sat behind that for 15 laps or so at Brands Hatch. Here's and looking at Simmons, Adam, he's only 6/10 behind Savinovic, so he's got a good position. He's in a good position in case it all goes wrong at the front.
Yeah, he is. He's got a healthy buffer, especially with this group fighting over best of the rest. Here is Jamie Rushworth.
Here we go.
And Rushworth gets hung out, goes out a bit wide there. Ross McFarlane thinks of going up the inside into the first part of the S's, but decides better of it.
It's super, super close. The Kia Optima is no slouch in a straight line. We're about to see that down the back straight, but over 170 miles an hour it's capable of. That's about as fast as a DTM car goes, Adam. It's crazy the speed of it, but here's Savinovic, and he will actually technically get the lead, will he, into the carousel? No, not quite. His name never reached the top of the timing screen, but his front of his car did reach the quarter panel of Ash Sutton's Kia Optima.
Well, you're getting a decent view of the gearbox, so they're always going for it up the inside, but Sutton is pointing the car in all the right places, or putting the car in all the right places as we're going to the boot section again. Let's see if he's going to go in for the inside here. We might see something like that in the closing stages. Obviously,
I reckon he's going to have a go. If he's going to have a go anywhere, he's going to have a go into the heel.
Yeah, and he's got a decent run out of the corner, to be fair. Ross McFarlane and Sedgwick are very, very close at the same time.
I mean, he's still a car length or so behind. Great camera angle, I have to say, because not only for the speed of the car going around the circuit, but he's going for it! He's going for the lead, Savinovic! Oh! And Sutton just manages to carry enough speed round the outside to just maintain that position. I was going to say the camera angle, the other thing it does, it shows just... Oh! Sutton disappearing, he's back. It shows just how much the Kia is sliding around as well in the corners.
While that was going on, Jamie Rushworth is now behind Ross McFarlane, and Jack Sedgwick is now at the front of this. Is now behind Stephen Baxter. So a few changes for position there as they come across the line. Not too long to go now. In fact, me just doing some quick maths, I think by the time we get back round to the line, we'll be starting the final lap. So not too long to go here.
2 + 2 is 4, -1. That's 3 quick maths.
There we go.
It's close at the front again. They are 1/10 apart. And Simmons is 1/10 behind Savinovic. Sutton's doing a great job of blocking the inside line, isn't he, though? Siminovich is trying to drive it in. He's got an overlap this time. Oh! So not giving him much space. Is he going to dive into the... And look, Simmons is trying to... It's a bit of a pincer movement, Adam. Simmons is trying to be long sweep round the chute.
Oh, shades of Eddie Irvine at the Japanese Grand Prix that year as Simmons tried to try and go around the outside of both of them. Sutton, though, you could see this brings me back to lap 1 again. Savinovic was so desperate to get past Sutton on that opening lap because he knew they would be having to do this kind of thing for the next 20 minutes if he didn't. And now he's trying to find some part of track which doesn't have a massive yellow CQR Kia Optima on it, and he's running out of time. When we get to the line, it's going to be the final lap. Sedgwick in the background has now got past Baxter 2, so the Evolution Racing
to fourth, I must admit.
Yeah, he's up to 4th. We're being so
started in 12th.
Quick, yeah.
What do you think then? There's going to be pretty much just one lap to go, so where's it going to be for Wojciech if it is?
Well, he got along. I thought he'd got it done. To be fair, through the carousel on this lap, he might try and get just a fraction more of an overlap, and he might be able to get it done. White flag in the air. Then final lap of the opening race, and of course we've got 2 more to go after this too with the reverse grid. So, yeah. Sorry,
I was just going to say that he just lost a tiny bit of exit speed. He needs to come out as close to this Kia Optima of Sutton as he... Oh! Now, is that going to be the mistake that cost Sutton? He just lost that tiny bit of momentum. Oh. This might be the first time, Adam, that Savinovic is clear before the carousel. Not quite, not clear, but in front is what I meant.
Sutton moves out wide.
Oh, he's moving out. Oh. Wojciech's still there. Sutton defending very ably. And just about fairly. And again, this continues. Savinovic very late on the brakes. Simmons is just trying to position his car in such a way. John Roberts and Adam Hedgecock have crashed teammates. But here's the view. This is going to be the... This is going to be the one. This is the last chance for Savinovic.
Come on. On the outside, there we go.
Sutton trying it. He's squeezing him onto the grass. Excuse me. Up the inside into the third to last corner. There is a bit of a nudge. Savinovic into the lead then.
Oh, it's a race-winning nudge unless Sutton can get back through.
Savinovic leads. Sutton second. Simmons third. Simmons having a look into the final corner. Having a look up the inside. Savinovic has gone wide. He's nearly into the wall. But he's coming to the line, Adam, and I think he's going to win it.
Oh, one of the best races in the BSRTC is won by Wojciech Savinovic. Him and Sutton having a fantastic duel at the Glen. And Sutton flies across the inside. Pro-Am victory is going to go to Adam Hadfield. A win for the Automech Not Kill car there. And the top 10 is rounded out overall by Ross McFarlane, Jamie Rushworth, Christian Rosen, David Baker. It was causing us to choke and splutter. It was doing everything, but it was Savinovic that got the win in the end.
Yeah, that's probably me done for the next few days. Voice is well and truly cooked after that one. But what a finish, brilliant finish. And yeah, just an outstanding race. I mean, they really went hard for it. And to be fair, Adam, what transpired on the last lap, if you're going to you could take us through it to save my voice, it was quite fair because Sutton did run Savinovic out onto the grass just beforehand.
Yeah, we'll go back further. We'll start from here. So obviously, in fact, you could even say that it started from I know this is professionalism.
That there.
Yeah, if we can stop it here and we go back on board. Watch Sutton cover the exit curve here. There it is, and that would have knocked not too many kilometres per hour off, but enough.
Tiny bit.
To get Savinovic the overlap here. Now Sutton, he learned from the previous lap, as they very nearly take each other out there. He learned from the previous lap about the overlap, so he moves the car out wide here, and there's a bit of contact there between the two of them. Wojciech tries can't get the move done there because the grass appears, and then into the left-hander. Sutton moves out to the outside, at just the right time, which forces Wojciech to go outside here. And then it's a race down the back straight. We'll tell you what, we'll go with Wojciech's teammate Simmons for this bit, if I can find him, that is, on the overlay. Here he is. Sutton gradually moves across. Again, no harm, no foul there. Then Wojciech moves to the outside, and as you can see, there is grip out there. And
Sutton hits the curb again.
Yeah. And then this is
then he does push Savinovich slightly wide. Wojciech, to be fair, tries to avoid him, it looks like. Just slides a tiny bit wide. And then Simmons, while all this is happening, is trying to think of a way to get second place. He nearly does it. Look at that. Oh.
And then it's a run to the line. To be fair to Sutton, he did try and throw it up the inside almost straight away going into that penultimate corner. But yeah, that wasn't it. And Sutton may not be a BSRTC champion. He is a British Touring Car champion. But two championship caliber drivers going at it there in the opening race. And we've still got 2 to go after this one.
You sometimes watch this championship and think that the British Touring Car Championship might be a bit easier than this. Sometimes the way that these guys go for it, but yeah, brilliant racing, and again, it's the 2 best in the game, in my opinion. Adam showing us exactly what they can do.
Indeed, yeah. Let's bring you the finishing order. Just remember that Hedgecock and Roberts crashed, so we'll bring you that before we do the reverse grid. Wojciech Savinovich,
they'll be eternally grateful for that, by the way.
A fully deserved. No, they're saying no. Don't do it. Don't do it. Savinovich wins. Sutton in second. George Simmons third and Jack Sedgwick in fourth. Then Stephen Baxter finishing in 5th place. Incidentally, well done by Sedgwick, in fact. Gaining quite a lot of places to finish in P4. Gaining 8, if I can find him on the screen there. Yeah, there he is. Stanley Trepolevsky, an underrated drive to 6th. Then Ross McFarlane was in amongst it with the guys at the front until a slide at the carousel, and then got bumped a bit further back as the race went on. Jamie Rushworth, Christian Rose, Dave Baker and Pete Harrod, a quartet of CQR cars rounding out the top 11. And then it's Adam Hadfield, the winner in the Pro-Am class. Jack McIntyre finishing P13. Then we've got Paul Smith finishing second in class. I'll do him the world of good. Dan Brown in 15th. Then it's Michael Blake, who has been doing pretty well in the Pro-Am category this season, finishing in 16th overall. Then it's Will Daniels and then Chris Wood. And then moving on further back after that, as we go on to page 2, it's Mark Woodhouse, Maciek Sakovic, James McRitchie there in the asymmetric car in P21. Robert Lundgren in 22nd. Then we've got Sean Gardner, Scott Malcolm, John Roberts and Adam Hedgecock there finishing P25 and 26. So despite the crash, they were able to carry on nonetheless and get a good finish. Sven Glatzel, I don't know what happened to him. He was one of the biggest movers at one point. That might be worth an investigation by me. I'm trying to find whether he crashed on the system, but I can't. Kip Stevens, P28. He'll be hoping that we get a really large number, and he'll be on the pole for the second race. And then the cars that didn't finish: Bradley Burns, Adam McNally, and I'm not too sure whether these guys took the start. Max Wright, Fraser Williamson, Stuart Atkinson, and Mark Westwood. So those are the 34 finishers from the opening race. Right then.
Thanks very much for that, Adam.
Yeah.
Saving my voice. There's one more act to this part of the broadcast, and that will be to see who's going to be on pole position for the next round. So we're going to get the spinning wheel up in just a second, and yeah, Adam's going to be Bradley Walsh for this occasion and give it a whirl.
Yeah, let's get it up, and we will spin it to find out who's going to be on the pole here for race 2 here at the Glen. Right, it spins. Oh, well, Boosted are going to be slightly even more unhappy. It's a full -5, which just about eliminates both of those two from being on the pole. Who is it that's going to be starting from the coveted number 1 spot in race 2?
I think it's going to be Sean Gardner, 4 minus 5. Because Kip Stevens is full, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back from him. 23rd place leads us to Sean Gardner. So, well, he'll be on pole position. We'll be excited to see exactly what he can do when we return here for more action from Watkins Glen in the BSRTC after we see this replay. Oh dear!
Well, that wasn't either of their
Well,
spot.
that's 3 into 1 doesn't go on that occasion.
That was James McRitchie. Well, we'll leave you with that, and we'll be back. Yes, indeed, from Watkins Glen in upstate New York. Not sure if it's near Utica or near Albany, but yeah, we'll see you in a few minutes here on Apex Racing TV when the BSRTC returns.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen and the BSRTC. We're here on the grid. You see there's Sean Gardner on pole position. He's got to defend from Robert Lundgren and James McRitchie, Maciej Sakovic, Mark Woodhouse and Chris Wood. That's the top 6. And we're just about ready for the start. In fact, it doesn't look like Lundgren's going to be there, is he? Is he going to make it in time? Don't think he is. We've hit the 1 minute. Now the lights are going to be coming on. Race 1 winner, Ojek Svidovic, is down in 26th place. Lights are off. The race. Brilliant start by Gardner. I know he had a little bit of space next to him, but he's made it good. Chris Wood's going up the inside. He's looking for what will be 2nd place. Oh, couldn't see what happened. I was dreading it a little bit. Somebody's come on off the grass on the runoff area, and they're all streaming up the hill then. Big sidewinder heading up through the S's, Adam.
Fortunately, no one hits the outside wall on the exit of the S's. That always ends in disaster. Remember someone doing that? The track was absolutely rammed. Look at this. It's Team Mad cars everywhere as they come down the back straight. There's millions of them as James McRitchie feels the pressure from Sakovic and Wood and Michael Blake as well. Looks like everybody's getting through the carousel cleanly.
Sakovic just ahead of McRitchie then, who went round the outside of the carousel, took the momentum, got the better line. Well, not the better line, the better exit speed. Couldn't usurp Maciej Sakovic just because of how wide he went initially. So Gardner, Sakovic, McRitchie. Then it's Will Daniels having a look round the outside of Chris Wood. And he's got all 4 wheels on that concrete, the newer tarmac, Adam, and it seems to work.
Outside line works really well around
tarmac
here too.
Adam.
Yeah. It really is. Onto the right-hander. It is Paul Smith as well. Oh, no, it's not Paul Smith. It's Chris Wood going up the inside of Dan Brown. Paul Smith is in there as well.
Paul Smith's there just behind Dan Brown,
He's right behind the V-Racer car. Paul Smith with the pink bonnet strip. And
look at this sight, I tell you.
It's flying formations, really. You've got the Team Mad cars, you've got the V-Racer cars, and then you've got the CQR cars all joined at the back, and then the Evolution Racing team that did pretty well in the opening race. There's the Automatic Not Kill car of Adam Hadfield looking on the inside. Oh, crap.
Oh, contact at the final corner, and that's Hadfield going into... I didn't see who he went into, I'm afraid.
Might have been Christian Rose, maybe?
Was it Rose or McIntyre, wasn't it?
Oh, up the inside goes the CQR car Dave Baker, who's gained 5 places. He's had a good start as the Automatic Not Kill car of Hadfield does go very wide through the first corner. Only opening lap then, Sean Gardner's got a 3/10 of a second cushion.
Sutton's already gained 9 places, so no surprises there. Oh, Sedgwick! And he's hit with one of the... the CQR cars, I think. It was Sutton.
Oh, another one. Oh, dear me.
Oh, now we've got a big wreck here.
Round like a record, 63
baby. 63 is Simmons.
7.
Oh, and Cedric's copped another one, I think.
7 Sutton, he's definitely done for the day. Or definitely done for this race too, anyway. 2 massive crashes unfolding at different points down the back straight.
McFarlane is out as well. Sutton's engine's blown. And that was started because, well, what it looked like was Jack Sedgwick was very close to the wall, but then I think either someone went down to squeeze him or... Well, I'm not sure. We'd have to see that one again. But Gardner leads. Sakovic in second. Third is McRitchie. Then it's Daniels. What it has done, Adam, is it's taken out fair few of the fast drivers. It's made it easier for these guys at the front. The very fast drivers, I should say. Everyone in this league's a fast driver, but the fastest drivers. And it's taken a few of them out, and now it's going to be a slightly easier job for the likes of Gardner and Sakovic.
Yeah, out of the race, Stelian Chepelevsky, Christian Rose, Ross McFarlane, Jack Sedgwick and Ash Sutton, all of them towed back to the pits. And
Simmons will be out as well, I would imagine. He's got so much damage.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get a black and orange flag. Black and orange flag, of course, means that your car is dangerous, it's badly damaged. A black and orange car going off the track, Adam, and in McRitchie.
God, don't know where he was going there. But he's back on the circuit and has lost a bit of time to Sakovic. Sakovic is now really applying the pressure on Gardner here.
Yeah, he is. This is for the lead. You can see all the battles. That's what's great about this long shot here at Watkins Glen. You can see it all materialising. Gardner just holds the middle of the road. Not a stupid idea, I've got to say, into the carousel. Not really much space to go either side. Baker dropping down past Rushworth. Rushworth and Blake actually getting past Baker. Oh, we've seen a lot of Baker in this race, race meeting. So far, Wood going for trying to keep this 4th place. Daniels driving it in hard to the heel, to the toe of the boot. Sorry.
Onto the back straight, onto the short straight on the boot layout, and McRitchie is keeping quite a few of the drivers at bay for now. Gardner and Sakovic aren't really too far away. That is the joy of having the slipstreamer here at this circuit.
Robert Lundgren relinquished his front row start and is now 21st, having avoided the carnage, I assume, starting from the pit lane. This is still the battle for the lead. Sean Gardner has actually pulled out over half a second over Magic Sakovic, so been a good lap for Gardner. Off the wall goes McRitchie. Just a little kiss of the wall. Might be enough for well, it was enough for Wood, and it might be enough for Daniels as well. Savinovic sets the fastest lap, 1:54.0.
It's very inviting, that first corner, for an overtake, but it's just too quick of an entry for anybody to get it done. And if you do get up the inside, both of you then go wide on the exit and open yourself up to attack from behind.
Yeah, and the other driver can really open the line out, can't they, and keep that momentum going. This is James McRitchie in 5th position, under pressure from Daniel Brown now. And Paul Smith is in there as well. Obviously, he'll be streaming, I would imagine. And this is the view from that of the Yorkshireman. He can probably sense something's going to go on here, I would imagine.
Oh,
is he having a look on Brown? He thought about it, didn't he? Car 222, a V-Racer. But Brown himself had him trying desperately to get past McRitchie, who's defending hard here. Oh.
Running a bit of that inside curve there on the exit. Doesn't look like it's hindered the car too much. What you don't see is behind you there is quite a lot of cars. There they are.
Oh.
It's Hadfield, then it's Harrod, then it's all the TQR colleagues in Rushworth, and Savinovic in there too for good measure.
That's the thing, Adam. Smith's having to be late on the brakes to stave off the likes of Hadfield and Harrod, but he doesn't want to be too late on the brakes because he'll run into the back of Brown, so not a great position to be in. As up the inside goes a CQR car of Harrod, I think, on Hadfield, but he didn't quite make it in there. Rushworth in 10th. Then it's Wojciech Savinovic with car 1 in 11th place. David Baker in 12th as we ride with Rushworth.
Should be able to get past Harrod here. Harrod had a massive slide going through the final corner, and the Season 4 champion Julie does get by. Didn't have to go that far up the inside, but
nice move.
It worked nonetheless, and Rushworth is up into 9th place as Gardner is now nearly half a second ahead of Maciek Sakovic, and Rushworth here is trying to close the gap to Hadfield, who is not the highest Pro-Am lead. And if you look at the split, we've got Pro-Am drivers in P1 all the way down to P8. It's a fantastic job by all of those drivers.
Yeah, Rushworth is the first one who's going to try and break that Pro-Am stranglehold given by Gardner, and then Sakovic, Wood, Daniels, McRitchie, Brown, Smith and Hadfield. Tell you what though, Pro-Am by class, Adam, but there's a lot of experience in those top 8 places, isn't there?
Well, Boosted, one of the oldest teams in the BSRTC since it became the Pro Series. Sean Gardner, a part of that team. And then Team Mad, been called other things, but yeah, Sakovic, Chris Wood. Sakovic is a Club Series champion. They're all doing pretty well. As on the exit, that was Rushworth getting very close to his teammate Pete Harrod as he tries to get past Hadfield.
Well, I think it was Savinovic actually nudging Harrod in the quarter panel.
Oh yeah.
So, but this is a great job by Gardner so far. We're half distance nearly. We will be once we. Pretty much once we get to the line. And Sean Gardner, I don't know if he's ever won a BSRTC race, Adam. I can't quite recall one if he has, so apologies, Sean, if you have. But Did his personal best lap on the last lap. 154.68. Looks very controlled inside that Kia Optima. Looks like he's looking after the tyres as well. Look at the timing tower, Adam. Look at it. All the orange. 0.2, 0.3, 0.2, 0.4, all the way down. Rushworth's had a mistake, I think. No, maybe. Oh, no, maybe not. One thing that struck me massively with this round of this meeting so far is just how little I've been looking at the event viewer, because there's been very, very few incidents.
No, barely any. Apart from that big crash that we'll definitely show a replay of before
Here goes Sakovic. He's got the straight line speed, Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Gardner's got to hold this now. He's got to try at least. He is trying. Good exit. But Sakovic is on the inside. And like you said, Adam, he is a champion of the Club Series. And Gardner around the outside. He doesn't want to give this up. And he's clear, this Maciej Sakovic.
Oh,
and bash Gardner into Chris Wood. I think it was incidental contact. I'm not even sure if he knew that he was there. Contact in the background between Smith and Brown, I think.
Oh, and look what this has done. It's caused an unbelievable concertina, and everybody's trying to find their own bit of space. Hadfield in the automatic not kill is on the inside. Sean Gardner.
Oh, Gardner problems.
He's wide.
He's wide, and he's now fifth.
Yeah, McRitchie.
Unbelievable how that can happen.
McRitchie taking full advantage.
He's hit McRitchie. He's just hit James McRitchie.
Oh, asymmetric. They got pretty close there. Parallel now as they go into the left-hander. And now
it's very close there. They're giving each other the room.
Don't want to end up perpendicular. They might be.
Oh, no! Oh, Gardner's car. Oh, into the path of Smith. And it's a big wreck here at the start-finish straight. Well, I thought it was going to be just a couple of cars caught up in it, really, but that could have been so much worse, but it could have been so much better. And of course, Paul Smith's involved, because that's what tends to happen to him when he's doing well, is he gets crashed into. This is what happened. And McRitchie, in fairness to Gardner, McRitchie really drifted off of the inside line, didn't he, Adam? He was nowhere near the apex of the corner.
No, well, yeah, we'll take it one more time. Paul Smith really got the perfect vantage point. Yeah, the apex is somewhere there.
It's not there,
No.
but now it's Gardner's car that's asymmetric, as he's hit the wall and heavily damaged. I think he's out of the race. So that leaves us with Daniels in the lead, as we can see. Maciej Sakovic in second, just behind him. Chris Wood in third. So it's the two Team Mad cars attacking then the V-Racer car. Excuse me. Savinovic, Brown, Baker and Rushworth is another little gaggle. Then it's McIntyre, McNally, Baxter and Blake. Then it's Hadfield and Harrod. Then it's Woodhouse, Roberts and Stevens. That looks like a hell of a battle, actually. Woodhouse, Roberts and Stevens. And Harrod. Yeah, look at this.
Harrod's...
he's got damage as Harrod, doesn't he? Look.
May have picked that up in the start-finish line incident. I don't know.
He's got suspension damage, Adam. He can barely drive that thing straight.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. We're on ball with him, and... God, he's at a right...
Reminds me of Belle-Isle last year.
We were mentioning perpendicular. That's a full-on right angle. He's having to steer it there.
Oh, and it won't turn left either. So he's having to steer right because the car's pulling left, and then he goes to turn left and it won't go left. Oh, that's horrible.
Driving from hell. Meanwhile,
it's Will Daniels trying to keep this lead.
Now, how far away is Wojciech Savinovic? Is there he is. And we've got what?
Oh, he nearly crashed. Oh! I tell you what, he was so close to the wall there, I'm sure. As he left the last corner, he was weaving about all over the place. Sven Glatzel sets the fastest lap, 153.89. And this is the battle then. Chris Wood going for second place. He's been given it by his teammate. But now the last part of the mountain to scale is William Daniels, and we'll see if he can do it. Daniels started 7th, Wood started 5th, Sakovic started 4th.
And then the last trim about 3 or 4 minutes ago, it was first down to 8 for Pro-Ams. They've been slowly infiltrated, and that big crash exasperated things, and now it's the front three, all Pro-Am, all going for a win.
Well, this is where it's about time that I remind you of what happened. Do you remember in last season's race here, where Ben Hackison won that unbelievable battle royal on the last lap? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, we had two guys at the front disappear, and then
the others crashed.
Yeah, Will Daniels yet to win a race this season. Hasn't even been on a podium. That's to show what he's been up to so far in this campaign. Chris Wood is yet to win as well. Maciek Sakovic, looking on the stat sheet, he's yet to win either. So all three of them chasing a first overall win of the campaign. And they'd love to get
Rushworth
it done here.
Off. Yeah, Rushworth off in the background.
Oh yeah, drops down.
Just ahead of Stephen Baxter now. This is the one. This is the battle that we're seeing. Daniels from Wood, from Sakovic. Savidovic is coming. He's only 6/10 behind.
We get the graphic up. You can see how it's come down. It's 3.2 seconds.
Looks like a middle finger.
Oh, get it off our screens, they yell. Yeah, 20 past 9. 3.2 seconds was the gap. It's now 6/10 of a second as the Team Mad cars go very wide and very nearly ends up in the wall. This is going to allow Wojciech to get his chance here.
Yeah, and Sakovic and Wood again look like they're switching places. Savidovic, well, he's looking for third. If he can carry the speed around the outside of the carousel, he could very well take that third place away from Chris Wood. Fighting hard though, Wood. Savidovic just clear through the chute. Nice move. And yeah, elevates himself up to third. 23rd on the grid he was, Wojciech Savidovic, race 1 winner, Adam. He could do the double here today.
Yeah, pinpoint accuracy, but from Wojciech here had to earn that win in race 1. And he's going to have to do the same again here. When we get to the line, we'll be starting the penultimate lap. And now it's all going to be about the defensive skills of Maciek Sakovic and Will Daniel. Sakovic won a title with them. He was able to out-drag Ben Hackison to the start line to win the title by a matter of inches. Here he's trying to get his first BSRTC win of the season. But a line like that will only halt his progress as Savidovic closes in a little bit more.
I remember that season of the Club Series. Remember the battles were feverishly fought. Sakovic knows how to win the championship, of course.
Oh, we were just mere sideshows in that. We both won races, but it was Sakovic that got the title at the end.
That's it. We did win a race each. You won at Charlotte Road. Remember that?
You won at Laguna?
I won at Laguna, I think. Yes.
Back in those days, it was literally a full reverse grid. So if you,
yeah, I did win at Laguna. It was a reverse grid race.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Back then, it was he who shall be last, shall be first, even if he didn't finish. I think I can't.
That was a really fun race. I've had a few of the best races of my career have been at Laguna. I must admit, I do like that place. I'm not super fast there, but in the race I can definitely pull it out. And speaking of guys who were Sakovic, he's messed up the entry. And he's hit William Daniels, and he's forced him wide, and he's taken the position. Well, I don't think that was a very good move at all, I'll be honest with you. A bit too much grass and a bit too much hit and hope from Sakovic. Definitely the hit has now dashed the hope of Will Daniels.
Might be able to get back up the inside here, though, the V-Racer car. And boy, we believe it.
Daniels. You can see that Daniels has got blood on the mind, I think. He's going to send one here, surely. I would imagine he's going to send one into the heel. It's the only retribution he can give. He hasn't done it, though.
Might be able to get the clear on Savidovic, and he does.
Yes.
He had to do that right in that moment, otherwise Wojciech would have been up.
Oh, and here he goes, the full send.
I wonder if Sakovic was expecting something there.
Well, yeah, I think he was, and he to be honest, I don't think he fought it too hard because I think he knows he bashed him out of the way. Here's Savidovic and Sakovic, but which will it be? Oh, very close to each other. Very close indeed. Wojciech gets up in second place. Maciek has to settle for third at the moment, but he does make a little crossover behind Savidovic just to see if he can fashion an opening. Daniels back into the lead then with 1 lap to go, Adam. What a finish we've got.
It is. Savidovic so far this season has won 6 races. Will Daniels is yet to win 1. And could it be this one?
Can I just say as well, if they all come to grief, there's a pack of 6 chasing cars as well behind them, headed by Jack McIntyre, that really smell blood. But speaking of smelling blood, Savidovic is the great white of the championship, and Daniels has made contact with him, and Sakovic is now coming in on the inside, and he's 3 wide nearly coming out of the carousel.
Savidovic is going to have the inside, but Daniels is going to throw it in. They both miss the apex
Great
a little
effort.
bit. It's worth an attempt.
You can see how the grip just erodes on the outside line. He really sent it into the corner beautifully, which did not have the traction on the way out.
Right, he's going to have to get an ace run here if he's going to trouble Wojciech, because as you can see...
It's a good run.
It is. He's closing in.
It's 3/10 though. It'd have to be something monumental to outbreak Wojciech Savidovic by 3/10. Into the heel, he doesn't do it. But he might do the same move again that he did on the previous lap. Doesn't do it. Oh, Savidovic wide. There's still half a chance for Will Daniels.
There's someone going
There's
very
a slow
slowly.
car on the circuit ahead. I hope this doesn't interfere with proceedings. That slow car's going to have to get out of the way.
It's his teammate as well.
It's in the final corner.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Wojciech Savidovic who takes race 2 at Watkins Glen. But what a great battle it was, and a fantastic effort by all concerned really at the front. They gave us some great racing in these last 10 laps.
Really did. They tried everything to keep him at bay, and they very nearly did it. Credit to Will Daniels, because this car was completely sideways going through the carousel. And of course, we haven't really spoke about it, but he wins the Pro-Am race here with finishing in second. Anna McNally and Jamie Rushworth were about half a tenth apart, and John Roberts, he comes across the line. It's just 600ths behind Mark Woodhouse. A battle going on right in the midfield that we just didn't have the chance to cover because so much was going on. And looking at it in the end, there were so many wrecked cars that I think realistically we had about maybe 11 or so that were pointing in a straight line perhaps by the time we got to the end.
Yeah, it was great. I do love that. Now there was a little bit of argy-bargy going on, as we say, but yeah, out of the 30 who started, there were probably only half of them who finished completely intact. But fair play to them, as they did make it to the end. We are waiting on Max Wright, I believe, to complete his final lap with some difficulty.
And while he does that,
he's barely got any steering. Actually, looking at that,
so while we look at that, we can finally dissect what happened to cause this. Right,
it's Sutton and Sedgwick, isn't it? Well, if we get a there we go. That's it.
Right, Sedgwick, he is the man. Here he is.
So let's have a look. Just wind it back a tiny bit for me. Just a little bit. I just want to see what's gone on.
Oh, it goes even further back. This.
Yeah. So they're hitting each other all the way up the S's. And of course, neither of them. So Sutton's very wide. Sedgwick sees the opportunity. They're bashing into each other. They both get out of it, which sort of bunches everyone else up. And then, that's not great. And actually, you know what? It's not those two that caused the accident.
It's number 3. That is...
These two are off the track and sideways at this point, and they are not the ones that caused the pile-up. It's number 3, who's McFarlane, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's... it's the other CQR, isn't it?
Which is 20.
20 is Harrod, isn't it?
Yeah, that is... And Harrod continues, but obviously then he has to stop. We saw that. Oh, no, number 4's Harrod. 20 is... Oh, goodness me, who is it?
20 is...
I think
Why is it not on my timing screen?
I think the numbers might be a bit mixed.
Oh, Rose.
Christian Rose. But then this carries on down the straight, and then Sedgwick and Sutton come to blows after that.
Well, that's unbelievable. That's actually unbelievable. I mean, really. That's just rubbish, frankly. But the accident wasn't. It was maybe indirectly caused by them, but not directly. Let's see it here.
This is on board with
McFarlane and Rose. Then I think you'll find that Rose has to check up because of these two nearly crashing. Okay. Ross is giving those two a very wide berth, and pretty unsurprisingly, actually, there, Adam. Given what's happened later on, go on. I think we need to see it. We need to see what happens later. Is this just nonsense, which I think it is going to be?
It's a Sedgwick.
So these two pushing each other, possibly unintentional there. I don't think there's enough room given there. And then, you know what? I think that's just a misjudgment. I really think. I'm going to say that that's a racing incident because they were racing very hard. It was borderline. I don't think that if you're Ash Sutton, that you would be as stupid to turn across the front of a car when you're not clear, knowing that you'll end your own race.
Say number 20.
I think it's all going to be because for all. I'm not going to get into the mind of drivers. I hate going, oh, this is what so and so's thinking because we don't know. But I'd imagine he's probably seen people crashing in the mirrors and maybe just not. I don't know if he realised he was clear or not. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea.
To finish before we get.
It's completely not Jack Sedgwick's fault. My analysis of it anyway, by the looks of it.
To finish, we'll show you the amazing skid pan that is which is Christian Rose. As he look at that.
Oh wow!
Firework display by him, and that's what ended his race. Right then, plenty to talk about at the end of that second race, but obviously Wojciech Savinovic is the winner. So we will get those. We'll get those results up of who finished, and you can pretty much name them all on one page. Savinovic wins. Will Daniels in the end did not finish one lap down. He finished a matter of tenths behind. Dave Baker P3, then Sakovic, Chris Wood, Steve Baxter, Jack McIntyre's teammate 7th, then Jamie Rushworth, Adam McNally just half a tenth behind. Then Michael Blake, Dan Brown, Kip Stevens in 12th, then Mark Woodhouse, John Roberts, Sven Glatzel in the end finished P15 after finishing pretty much near the back in race 1. Scott Malcolm, then Robert Lundgren, and then Max Wright, and then after that, a tale of woe for many of these. Pete Harrod finished one lap down in the end. That will make him eligible for the pole for race 3 if we do get a very big number. Adam Hadfield out, Stalin Chepelevsky, I'm not too sure what happened to him. He might have been involved in the mess on the back straight too. James McRitchie, Paul Smith, he was involved in that Shades of NASCAR 2008 moment on the exit of the final corner. Sean Gardner, George Simmons, Jack Sedgwick, Ash Sutton out, Ross McFarlane along with him. Christian Rose went for a slide along the back straight, and Adam Hedgecock, not too sure what happened to him actually. He was out very early on. He might not even have taken the start. Not too sure on that one. But it's time for the reverse grid. We've kept you waiting, and we're going to do it now. So let's get up the wheel and find out who's going to be on pole for the final race here.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because the full reverse grid is going to bring a small result. So. Yeah. So we get on there.
Here we go. Oh, it's spinning for an eternity. And it's going to be 4 minus 5 again.
So 4 minus 5. You might have to wind that one back for me.
To get the full page. There you go.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it'll be John Roberts who goes on there, and it's 14th place. So that's what I think it'll be.
Yeah, because 1 lap down on the previous page is the full zip minus 0 in effect. Then Max Wright minus 1, Robert Lundgren minus 2, Malcolm minus 3, Glatzel minus 4, John Roberts minus 5. That's the explanation. And that is who's going to be on the pole for race 2. Just realised you can't see this at home. There you go. So yeah, Max Wright is the minus 1. And then if you count up, John Roberts is there. He's the minus 5. And he's going to be on the number 1 spot for the final race of the day.
Right, well, we'll see you after the break then here on the BSRTC for race 3 from Watkins. We'll be back soon.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up at race in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Race 3 is upon us then in the BSRTC. We're here on the grid. John Roberts is on pole. Mark Woodhouse is second. Kip Stevens third. Daniel Brown in fourth. Michael Blake in fifth. And Wojciech Svidovic, race 2 winner, going for the triple, starting in 14th place. I'm just about ready for the start. Good mix of AMs and pros. We'll see who's going to prevail in America again. 5 red lights Lights are out, we're away. Good start by John Roberts. He's just ahead of Woodhouse. Woodhouse has got that big sweeping run round the outside. He might just get level with Roberts. Is he? No, he isn't. John Roberts leads the way then. Woodhouse in second, Brown in third, Stevens in fourth. And look at this. Look at the speed of the Kia Optima, Adam, as it climbs the hill.
Of course, new build as well on iRacing. I wonder if that's had an impact on the drivers at all. I don't know if any changes have been made, but we're almost 3 wide in some places going down the back straight.
Yeah, indeed. Although they did make that change about the suspension, didn't they? So that cars didn't go flying into the air. We did see that. Woodhouse takes the lead then. Briefly at least. He's going to try and round the outside in the Team Mad car. Does he have the grip? He certainly has the perseverance. Looks like he's going to take the lead away from John Roberts.
Oh!
Roberts loses it.
Oh,
and I think he's in the wall, is he? Yes.
Me.
Oh.
Fortunately,
Roberts.
He's not buried in it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he got a wiggle, and then I thought he was buried in the tyres for a moment there, but also glitching in and out.
Well, Stevens disappeared, and then there was crashing in the back. I think it's all right though.
I think Max Wright may have started from the pit lane, not too sure. There's a V-Racer car there going into battle with Stevens. Well, he's somewhere there. There he is.
Wow, Stevens is disappearing again. Don't usually see him have these problems. 2 to 3 wide in the background. Chris Wood and Jack McIntyre resuming hostilities between Team Mad and V-Racer. One of the Evolution Racing cars went across the grass. No doubt they've ended up with a slowdown penalty. I would imagine that was George Simmons. Ash Sutton's already up to 19th place. Jack Sedgwick's getting 10 positions from where he started. Smith and McFarlane are exchanging places like nobody's business. And here comes Stephen Baxter then, as we ride on board with him in 5th position.
Into the opening lap then. Big gains by Rushworth, and if you look further back, it's Chepelevsky that's gained 8 places, Sedgwick gaining 10. And that is the biggest gains out of anybody in the field so far as we start the second lap. Everybody running so close to that Armco barrier in a tunnel turn.
One thing we are going to see, Adam, when the new Audi car comes in, is that straight line speeds are going to be greatly reduced, which that could impact the racing in some way, certainly.
Yeah, especially circuits like this in Interlagos where you really get to see the slipstream in the Kia Optima in full effect. I don't know what the aerodynamics will be like on the Audi, but I wonder if we might be facing...
It's going to be even closer, maybe.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like the BSR Rallycross Championship. We had that one winter where we were bouncing off the rev limiter for many a straight, but
oh god, yeah,
completely different car altogether. That
less said about me driving in that, the better, because I was awful. I was awful in that.
Nearly did what I think you quoted as the move of the century.
3 cars in one corner nearly at Laguna Seca in the final corner.
If only I hadn't full on got overexcited and forgot to shift up through the gears, it would have worked.
It would, and it would have gone down in history. Still has, but Mark Woodhouse still in the lead.
Come back here from Dan Brown, who's in 2nd place. It's an M1-2 at the moment as well. Michael Blake sat in 7th as the Pro-Am leader going into this one. I know we haven't really talked much about the championship's implications for this race meeting, considering we're not too far away from the showdown now, as we're midway through June. I wouldn't believe it.
Not going to lie, it's always good to see the P1 next to the Woodhouse name as Mark Rushworth. Mark Rushworth? Who's that? Jamie Rushworth. I don't know. Jamie Rushworth did set the fastest lap, but it then was taken by Stephen Baxter.
It's like Eddie Jordan calling Paul McCartney George McCartney or whatever it was.
It was.
Yeah, onto the back straight. Team Maz would love a win here. Sakovic very nearly did it in race 2. Could this be the opportunity for Mark Woodhouse? He's got a CQR car of Brown though, who's eager to get by. And look at that. That's Dan Brown.
Oh!
Watch out for Rushworth.
Could have been Linda McCartney for all we know, because you've got to have some vegetables to go around the outside in the carousel anyway.
Don't think we are in New York. I don't know whether Linda McCartney did any steamed hams, but on the inside
there'd be fake steamed hams, wouldn't they? As round the outside goes Jamie Rushworth. And he's got company from Baxter and McIntyre. Let's see if Steve Baxter can do anything.
Wow.
Very late lane change and the move for the lead.
Rushworth, this is where Dave Christie had a massive crash. Alex Simpson managed to drive through somebody on that one. And,
is that the Titanic music?
Yeah, that is the Titanic one, yeah. The Titanic with the badly played recorder. It's Brown, then it's Rushworth, then it's Woodhouse.
Still one of my favourite videos on live racing history, isn't it?
I think the commentary as well makes it, I think. Yeah. We've got V-Racer bookending the top bookending the top 5. Dan Brown, then it's CQR's Jamie Rushworth, who would love a win here as well. Then it's Woodhouse, then it's Steve Baxter, then it's his teammate Jack McIntyre. But here comes Rushworth for the lead.
It's crazy. There is one driver in the top 17 who's more than a second behind his opponent.
That's Simmons, yeah.
No, it's not.
now he's less than a second away. There's an Automech not-kill car going side by side there.
Look at that timing screen. You won't see anything like that anywhere else. Oh, you won't see that. That's Sutton barrel rolling through the S's, sparks flying as he makes contact with the catch fence. And that's Sutton's race run. How on earth has that happened? I'm guessing Will Daniels might have been involved in that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and it was.
Shades of Le Mans. Wow.
Spectacular accident there for Sutton, especially with the sparks flying. And that's 2 races that have ended in big fashion.
Here we go.
He's just lost the car, has he?
Oh,
has he been hit? He was on the curb, and I think he got a nudge as well.
Many
it's all
rolls.
over for Sutton.
God.
Sky ground. Cars.
Smoke. Good Lord, what is happening there?
Smoke. Aurora Borealis. Look at this now. We've got 10 cars. 10 cars in contention for the win.
Yeah. Rushworth all the way down to Glatzel. I wonder if Sedgwick can maybe close that 1.3 second gap and he'd be involved with it too. Wojciech Savinovic in 6th is chasing all 3 race victories. Not too sure the last time that happened. Might still be Sebastian Joe, but oh dear. Sideways.
Big slide for Rushworth. And here comes Daniel Brown. Brown's braking.
I think he knows that this is not the corner to get the move done.
That's true.
And Rushworth, he takes a lot of the exit, the runoff area there on the exit as one of the V-Racer cars in the back of the shot. That must be Sven Glatzel is trying to get past Adam McNally through the S's. This might not go well.
I think Glatzel got unlucky with the reverse grids twice. I think he was just behind it both times. Here is Daniel Brown then. Great run. Not good enough though.
I was fully expecting Woodhouse.
Oh, Rushworth's all over the place.
Let's give it the opportunity he needs for Dan.
Nice and smooth from Brown. Has he got the momentum though, Adam? He's got that tricky outside line to deal with now.
Yeah, Rushworth is doing a good job of orchestrating things from the front here, despite the lapses in small little errors that aren't really costing him too much. It's just making everybody close up to him a little bit more. There's Woodhouse.
Woodhouse is still in there, who was leading, and Jack McIntyre is in there as well.
Safety in numbers.
Really seen a great deal of McIntyre. Sorry, Adam.
No, sorry. I was just going to say safety in numbers for V-Racer. They've got 3 of them penning in the Team Mad car of Woodhouse here,
and the Evolution Racing of Savinovic.
And you can, if you've got your teammates around you, you can afford to do what he did on the straight on the previous lap, which is get on the brakes and slot back into position. Definitely not going to be able to do that on the motorway. That is for sure.
Although some do.
And this is coming from 2 people that have. I've got a driving license, but I don't have a car.
I think I've got a. I thought you were going to say then. I think I've got a driving license. Here's Rushworth. I definitely don't. Rushworth then on the move. He's trying to create this gap, but almost impossible, Adam, with the track layout as it is.
Yeah, he can build a gap as much as he wants. So Savinovic gets the move done on Woodhouse. That's the champion up to 5th now.
Look at this battle. It's all the way down to 13th place. All in a line, pretty much. The gap is 3.8 seconds between first and 13th. Other series can stick that. Somewhere dark and painful, no doubt.
Oh, Stevens is is disappearing. I think he's still on the circuit. I think he might have just got shuffled out a few positions, and it's all of a sudden become 13 cars that now have a chance for the win, because all the way down to Blake in 13th, they're all pretty much within Rushworth. Rushworth's there, right in the front of the shot. 13 cars within, what, 4 seconds of each other.
He's got no grip though, Rushworth, as he turns into the right-handers, it looks like.
And we've still got half the race to go as well.
Makes you wonder whether he does have some damage, but it might just be that the setup might be lacking. He's very, very sideways into a lot of the medium-speed corners.
On board here with Steve Baxter, looking at the looking at the stats. Baxter is yet to win this season, has been on the podium once. Rushworth, on the other hand, has won one race already. That was back at Donington. Can he get it done in stateside here in Watkins Glen?
Although I will say, Adam, if you've got an oversteery front-wheel drive car, it's usually a fast one, but you do have to then cope with the instability of the rear end. Rushworth just about doing that in order to lead.
Cut back.
Baxter, he might get alongside here out of turn 1, it is.
Now this is going to be interesting. Up the hill, they're wheel to wheel. Rushworth, is he going to have an overlap for the inside? He does, and there's not too much grip out there,
wide.
Steve. Oh,
he's into the wall.
Sparks fly. Literally.
Wow.
Lives to fight another day.
His teammates are coming through. Baxter, is he going to yield to Brown or to McIntyre? No, he's not.
I see a brake
And this
lights.
is where the quandary is for V-Racer, Adam. They're so close together. They do not want to end up in a heap. We've seen that before with them and with others.
They're trying their best, aren't they? They're trying their best as we disappear into the woods. As it's now Baxter leading them. That remains. Here comes Wojciech.
Oh, Wojciech Svidovic. He's not giving up on the triple just yet.
Riding on board, he's got a bit of battle scars here. And here comes Baxter. He might fancy his chances on the inside of the final section of the boot. Maybe not there, but he might try into the left-hander as Rushworth doesn't make the best exit.
You see, Rushworth... I can sort of identify with Rushworth's driving style in this meeting, because it's kind of similar to myself. I tend to carry a lot of speed into the corner, but sometimes suffer taking speed out of the corner. And it looks like that's what he's doing here, Adam. Is that there's no danger of anyone out braking him, but he just doesn't have the grip available. He was
trying to get it to turn in, but it just wasn't, and he managed to do it just in the nick of time, because that tyre barrier was coming up down the front straight.
Now,
here we go
is
again.
Baxter going to go for it into turn 1? If he did, he couldn't outbrake Rushworth.
And now he's got himself a bit of a disadvantage, because that wasn't the best exit. And now his teammate is right behind him, but straight away, right onto the back of Rushworth. He's using all that inside curb to just get the thing to turn.
They're very close to the wall there on the inside. It's become a 6-car scrap. There's 1.5 seconds back to Sven Glatzel in 7th place. It's another V-Racer car. Here's Wojciech Svidovic then. He's thinking about a look on McIntyre. Oh, wide, very wide, Baxter. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I would say not, because it puts him right into harm's way with Svidovic here.
Oh, great exit.
But McIntyre, the result is McIntyre goes up in 2nd. I wonder if he had the pace out of the V-Racer cars, and I wonder if Steve Baxter maybe thought that McIntyre's got the best chance to get past Jamie Rushworth.
Good job by Baxter as well on the exit there. Looked like Svidovic was going to be able to power his way through around the outside, but Baxter used the grip on the inside, as of course it is the racing line and the shorter line, and he was able to maintain P3. Oh,
Svidovic is a bit out of control there, given just a car's width by Baxter. That was smart by Baxter. Oh, there's a car wide in the background. That's Hadfield off, I think. Was it Hadfield who was in the grass? I think it might have been. The gravel, sorry.
Either him or Blake, one of the two. Blake lost the position there in whatever.
Well, it was a blue car, so it wasn't Blake. So I think it was Hadfield.
Yeah.
This is Jack Sedgwick in this battle as well. He's kept a low profile in this race. Probably because people keep crashing into him, it seems. But
well, yeah, it's now one CQR car, a lone CQR at the front. Then it's two V racers. Then it's two Evolution Racing Team cars, and then it's two more V racers.
Yeah, they just keep appearing from nowhere, don't they? The V racer cars. Oh, I tell you what, these guys are really hanging it out, trying to keep so much momentum on them going onto this back straight. They're all nearly hitting the wall on the inside of the S's.
Flicking it this way and that way. Such commitment through that part of the circuit. You've got to stay quick.
McIntyre scrabbling for grip into the carousel. He doesn't have any traction on the rear.
It's a downhill braking zone, and I know these Kias do like to get pretty light at the rear, especially when you put the brakes on. And we're seeing that in full effect as there's been a crash. It's
Smith.
Somebody is Bradley Burns.
Oh, Burns.
Boo Burns. Let's have a look at what's happened here.
Yeah. Well, that was an Evolution car on the inside. I think started that one into Hedgecock. I think who went into Burns and I think
may have been Simmons.
Yeah, just bad stuff there, fortunately.
Back with the leaders, and it is still as you were, except instead of having a 13 car scrap, that's now kind of been spread out a bit. It is now realistically 6, maybe at a push 8.
I think Brown went off, Adam, so it's realistically 5 with 2 more.
Yeah.
But I think Brown's been off the track, so he's let Glatzel through, as Glatzel's got a bit more pace. Right,
2 laps to go, just about. I think, we should, when we get back to the line, we will have 1 more lap to go after this one. Rushworth's just got a couple of miles to hold on. As you can see, the battle graphic now down to 5 as they go up the hill.
This car's pretty much perfect in terms of... Whoa! Jesus. This car's pretty much perfect, though, in terms of... For this layout, where the drivers are getting alongside, because it literally allows people to just get alongside. It enables the drivers to have a go, but the moves aren't easily done.
And you know where we're going next week? We're going to Le Mans.
That one, some of the moves will be quite easily done, I would imagine, on the long straights. Oh! And I think Sedgwick might have got hit by Baxter there.
He was trying to get the outside move done, and...
Unless he just lost the rear, because he was trying to carry too much speed in.
We can quickly have a look.
Does he get a slight nudge here? Yeah, I'd say so. It's close, but... Oh, here comes... Oh. Swedish thought about it. I think I'm glad that he didn't, because I think he would have hit Stephen Baxter there. Oh, Baxter's opened the door. Oh.
That's a great anticipation by Baxter, because he knew that Wojciech wouldn't have been able to get that move done. And great.
A bit of both.
Yeah, a bit of both, I'd say. Right, check. White flag is getting ready. I wonder if these drivers have anything left in reserve to have one last push to get past Jamie Rushworth, who has pretty much led from the front since halfway.
And the last couple of laps, he hasn't been really challenged that hard either. But you do wonder, like you say, if they're just saving a bit in reserve to just see what can be done. McIntyre, he's got understeer in the S's, it doesn't help. Rushworth very close to the wall, but very precise.
Here he comes.
This is a good run for McIntyre.
Closing, now going to the outside. Rushworth's going to disappear.
He's going to be ahead, is he nearly, by the carousel? No. Oh, Wojciech Savinovic going for it. Going for it all there.
Rushworth runs wide. So does everybody else.
You can see look at the aggression in the body language of Savinovic's car.
I think he
trying every which way to get this triple, but Rushworth still leads. He holds the white line on the inside, Adam. He will not yield.
Well, former champion could be about to get his hands on the winner's trophy here, but Jack McIntyre is going to try and stop him. Rushworth.
Oh, which way do you go? Into the heel of the boot.
But Wojciech reckons he could get all 3 race victories here if these freaks start crashing.
We've seen it before on this track.
Right.
Oh, that's very close.
This is the last overtaking opportunity, I reckon.
Yep. Last good one. Oh, or is it? It's crashing behind them, but it's crashing in the midfield. But it looks like Jamie Rushworth is going to take the win. It's going to be very close, though. There is a decent drag to the line. He's giving everything, McIntyre. Rushworth and McIntyre to the line. It's going to be pretty close. But it's going to be Jamie Rushworth who takes it. Jack McIntyre second, then Baxter, Svidovic, Sedgwick and Glatzel and Brown. There was all sorts of nonsense going on in the middle of that lap.
Yeah.
With the likes of Stevens and McNally and Wood and Co. This is it, Adam. Take us through it.
So the automatic not kill off.
Oh dear. Bloody hell. I nearly said something else then. That's just... That's not great, is it? Let's be honest. I don't know what he thought he would accomplish there, to be honest. Let's have a look at this again. Yeah, no, that was never ever gonna happen, was it? And yeah, he's rightly lost positions for that, because that was pretty crap, to be fair.
Oh, someone went off as a
it's
result.
worth having a go, isn't it? But yeah, that's just not.
Who was it in front?
Good.
It was that went off as a result.
Oh, the guy in front was. Is it Malcolm? Car 47. Is.
Oh, it's McNally. Yeah.
McNally.
Here it is one more time. I know he keeps again and again and again.
I mean, why not? To be fair, it's that good, isn't it?
He's literally, McNally's literally, if he paused it, he's literally got the car at the
all four wheels. It's the all 4 wheels off the track, isn't it? On the inside. To be fair, by that point, he couldn't stop at all. But yeah, it was a bit of an ill-advised dive, was that, by Hadfield. He'd probably be going to see the stewards, I would imagine, for that one. It gave us some entertainment, though, mate. That's what we want to see on the last lap, isn't it? Some shenanigans.
Gotta go for it, I guess. Yeah. Well, one of the best race meetings we've covered on in the BSRTC this season. Probably one of the best for quite some time as well. It wasn't a complete conquest by Svidovic, but Jamie Rushworth able to get a late race victory by holding back the majority of the field for the majority of it. So. Let's get the race results up then, shall we? And try and pick the bones from this one. Rushworth wins, McIntyre second, Steve Baxter finishes in third, just 2/10 separating the top 3. Wojciech Svidovic, I wouldn't be too surprised if he reckoned he could have won that one, and he was sat in 4th at the start of the last lap. Jack Sedgwick, not too far behind his title-winning teammate. Sven Glatzel, Dan Brown and Ross McFarlane, a trio of V-Racer cars there. And then Chris Wood and Mark Woodhouse in 9th and 10th. Dan Brown, another Pro-Am win for the V-Racer team. After that, it's Christian Rose in 11th, Kip Stevens in 12th, Maciek Sakovic in 13th, then Adam Hadfield, then Stenny Chapelewski, James McRitchie finishing there in 16th, then George Simmons and Paul Smith there in 18th, and then Adam Hedgecock, who was there with his teammate Sean Gardner, Adam McNally, who managed to come back onto the circuit in the end after getting, well, out of nowhere, sideswiped by the car going up the inside, Hadfield. Then it's Scott Malcolm, John Roberts, Max Wright in the other automatic not kill car, and then the car's one lap down or more. Michael Blake, Pro-Am leader, earlier on. I'm just getting up the championship standings to see if he is still there as Pro-Am leader. He is, but I wonder if his points deficit will have been eaten into somewhat, especially with Maciek Sakovic having a good evening. I'll just quickly refreshing the sheet now to see if that is the case. We'll carry on. Bradley Burns, 3 laps down. We saw the Vortex car flying off at the carousel. Pete Harrod out very early on. Will Daniels too. Daniels and Sutton both involved in the mess at the S's. Robert Lundgren out and Dave Baker. Oh goodness me, did he take this? Did he even take the start? He did, but he was out very early on. So that was Dave Baker's third evening. Just been subscribed to on YouTube as well, as you can see there. So thank you for the subscribe. Michael Blake does remain at the top of the AM standings, and that brings to a close a pretty interesting evening at one of the best circuits of BSRTC racing. Next week we go to the Temple of Speed that is Le Mans. We'll probably see more of the same.
I love this meeting. I thought it was really, really entertaining. Everything you want in a touring car meeting, and we just want more of the same when we go to the next round in the place where I've forgotten where it's going to be.
Le Mans.
Le Mans, that's it. There we go. Let's get Christian Rose in for an interview. Waiting patiently down there. Christian, welcome to the commentary box, mate. Can you hear us?
Yep, loud and clear. How are we?
Yeah,
good. Probably slightly better than you were in race 2, I guess.
Yeah, so I've had a few weeks away, and I've definitely experienced all of what BSRTC has to offer tonight. With pretty much everything happened to me.
They were just being generous. They thought you'd missed out for long enough, and wanted to help you out. What's it like at Watkins Glen? I mean, we've all raced there. Some in the touring cars, some not. But what's it like for people who haven't? It's very hectic. Sometimes with the Kia Optima, you can barely see. How does it change your approach to the races when everybody's so tightly packed together?
Yeah, the knowledge of how this championship works and how the racing works, especially around this circuit, because if you make a mistake or you're caught up in something, there isn't much room before you're in a barrier. So, yeah, everyone tries to be respectful and race hard but fair, but it's very difficult around here. Very, very difficult.
How is having 3 major teams at the front of the championship in V-Racer, Evolution and CQR changed the championship in a way? Because we've always had a couple of teams, but not with everybody up there. Now it seems like these teams are getting pretty much all their drivers up to the front, and it's looking like it's providing some really interesting tactical battles. Yeah,
I mean, there's fantastic drivers up and down the grid, not just necessarily in those 3 teams. There's some really, really fast drivers all spaced out. But like, for example, the first race, I got very, very lucky, fluked a pretty decent Q lap to be 4th, but I knew my pace wasn't there. It was just all a matter of fact trying to hold on as best as I could. But some of these boys are a lot more experienced than I am, so that was very obvious. When I slipped back to 9th, I just couldn't match their pace in the middle of the race once the tyres had started to lose their edge. But everyone's so quick and so well matched. It does make for fantastic racing between, especially all those 3 teams at the top of the championship.
How do you think that the new car will change things?
I like to think that we get a slight advantage with Ash's experience in a TCR car. Really looking forward to it. So I'm not as experienced as the majority of these guys in the Kia. I was very late to it, so maybe it'll level the playing field out a tiny bit.
Some of these people have got, a lot of experience now, 6 years or more in this very car. I know it's changed a bit over the years, but yeah, you've been more, in other things up until now.
Yeah, I've had 1 full season. This is my 2nd full season in the car, so obviously time models change and the car changes a bit with that, but yeah, just a bit behind the curve. Still learning so much off Dave Baker, Jamie Rushworth, Pete Harrod, and Ash. Yeah, it's fantastic to listen to what they have to say, and I'm learning a lot.
Great group of drivers there, and I'm sure you'll agree. Before we head to next round at Le Mans, can you just give some shout outs to the team or shout outs to sponsors, friends, whoever?
Yeah, just a massive shout out to everyone at CQR. We haven't had the best of nights tonight results wise, but we'll regroup and hopefully go much better at Le Mans. Obviously, thanks to yourselves for the broadcasters and to the series organisers.
Nice one. Thank you very much, Christian. Pleasure.
Thank you. Take care.
Although Christian Rose has been there, we've got a few drivers waiting to talk to us. So we do have Paul Smith and we do have Adam
Yes.
McNally. Might leave Paul to
we'll get Paul, as he was in the channel straight away. So Adam, yeah, take it away.
Oh, Paul, hello.
Hello.
Oh, the last time I saw you, you were keeled over at the side of a racetrack. So I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah,
since,
finally recovered.
Since then, not too sure race 2 would have been a perfect tonic for that. But yeah, tell us about your evening as a whole.
I mean, race 1 was fun. It was fun being able to race in sort of like that towards the front of the mid pack. That was it was really good to be in and around that fight. Second race, I have to question the driving standards of not so much driving standards, the racecraft, should I say, sorry, of a few of the drivers, in terms of you've got a breakaway of the front 7. They've got about 2 seconds behind them. What do you do in that situation when it's a slipstream race? You work together and you move forward. Nope, not in this series. We scrap it out like it's the final lap of the race. So, yeah, that brought the rest of the field back into it. And lo and behold, then there was an incident at the last corner between McRitchie and Sean Gardner. And let's just say McRitchie drove like Gardner wasn't there. He seemed to have a magnet attached to him for boosted cars because he went and played bowling pins with 2 boosted cars at the carousel on the last lap of race 1. And then final race, having to come from the mid to rear of the grid. Having some really fun racing back there. Bradley Burns, great, clean, hard but fair driving between me and him. I really enjoyed that battle. Cheppy was, Cheppy as we expect him to be. And McRitchie goes and hits another boosted car off at the final corner and almost causes me to crash into him again. So you can imagine that I'm not thinking that highly of his driving ability at the moment after this 3 races. But 18th in the end. Good points. That's what we need really going into this latter part of the championship.
I know, yeah, it's been condensed.
Does that answer your question?
It ticks all the boxes, I think. Yeah, well, obviously the questionable driving aside.
I normally enjoy Le Mans in a say like a GTE car, or even the LMP2 car. Not so much in the Kia, let's be honest, because it basically bounces off the rev limiter every time you're going down the Mulsanne straight. So yeah, it is going to be a slipstream race. It's going to be how you handle the Porsche curves and the heavy braking zones as well, and who looks after the tyres. Although tyres shouldn't really be the worst around there because you're a long time just on straight, so it gives them time to relax a bit and cool down. So it's going to be interesting, that's for sure, and it is going to be a slipstream race. So tall gears are in the order and get that rear wing all the way down.
Yeah, can you afford to get it down to pretty much nothing and still?
You have to.
Yeah, and you're still able to handle the Porsche curves just about without flying off the circuit.
Not really, but you have to, because everybody else who's on -4 win is going to go past you.
Yeah.
I mean, in those 3 races here today, I know for a fact that I was running with a higher wing than everybody else. And it showed towards the end of that first race because I'd looked after my tyres better because I'm not having to put as much stress through the front tyres under braking. So it really helped me towards the end of that first race. But I was a sitting duck with some people because they were running like 2 more less wing than myself. So if you don't run -4 at Le Mans, you're either mighty brave or more likely mighty stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's been good to speak to you. Obviously, the last time I saw you weren't in too good of a state. You did miss me holding up the majority of the field for another couple of hours in the 24-hour karting.
And knocking them off, I've heard too.
Oh, yeah, and giving indecent gestures to some, and yeah, they weren't too happy. So I gave it back. But before you leave, Paul, do you want to
called him a few harsh things, but never mind that.
Yeah. Before you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, thank you very much to our supporters as always. Fanatec and Overclockers, we've got affiliate links for them. Check it out on our social media. Thanks to Calder Rescue, to Small Time Productions, to Phoenix Racing, and there's Simortal, because Michael will kill me if I don't say that, and also the Simon Racing Report. Hey, guess what? I remembered all of our sponsors for once.
There you go.
Well done.
Yeah. Something that we can't do. Anyway, well, I don't think we've ever tried.
I can't even remember which interview questions we've asked and which ones we haven't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've had that situation before. So, yeah, thanks as always, Paul, for coming and speaking to us. A valuable insight into your action-packed evening at Watkins Glen. And I'm sure a few protests may be getting lodged next week. But, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to speak to you again next week at Le Mans.
No worries. Take it easy.
Thanks to Paul Smith again, and thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight here on Apex Racing TV. Like I say, we head to Circuit de la South next time. It's going to be fantastic. But for now, from Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath, and for everybody here at Apex Racing TV, it's good night from the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.